This is part 2 of our evening workshop on how to motivate teenagers. We have a second set of handouts, but what I'd like to do is to start off with one of the animations of the previous handout. So we have 2 handouts now, a new one, and then one from our previous workshop, last hour. So if you can open up the end, third to last page of the previous workshop.
They took them all away.
Yeah, but they are here, right on the bench over here. There's a whole bunch of them here. Right. So does everyone have the previous workshop?
No.
So let's distribute that now. So we're distributing the previous workshop. The third to last page is an animation of what we're talking about in terms of emotional support, which works with children, teenagers, and spouses. So across the board, this concept of emotional support is applicable. It's the same thing across the board. The circumstances are different, the relationship is different, but the avodah of connection and understanding, the 3-step process of acknowledging the feeling, accepting and understanding the feeling, and being with the feeling, letting the spouse or teenager or child process their own feelings is essential. For example, in this example, on the third to last page, we have a little girl who lost her turtle. Do we have that page? Yes, everyone on that page? Third to last page of the previous handout. It says the following. The little girl says, "My turtle is dead. He was alive this morning." Now, don't go get so upset, honey. She starts to cry. Don't cry, it's only a turtle. She starts crying. Stop that, I'll buy you another turtle. I don't want another one. Now you're being unreasonable. Right? The father is trying to solve the problem. I'll get you another turtle. That doesn't work, right? What does work is the second scenario on the right side of the page. As you see on the bottom, the analysis on the bottom of the page says, when we urge a child, teenager, or spouse to push away a bad feeling, however kindly, I did it very kindly, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it, I'm there for you, saying that, the spouse only becomes more upset. It becomes worse, because reassurance worsens the problem, because the problem is not solved unless it's released. The solving of the problem is not the practical application of coming up with a solution. The problem solving is the emotions that's behind the problem. That's the piece we're missing. You are not here to solve the problem. My wife can solve the problem herself. It's I have to be there emotionally and understand what she's feeling, that, I feel supported, then I feel enough strength and empowerment to solve it myself. So the answer on the right side is this. My turtle is dead. He was alive this morning. Oh, what a shock, says the father. He was my friend. To lose a friend can hurt. I taught him to do tricks. You two had fun together. I fed him every day. You really cared about that turtle. Did the father's comments bring the turtle back? Yet the father allowed the child to process her feelings and felt helped, understood, validated. Otherwise, we're negating feelings. And the commentary on the bottom says the following. Parents or husbands don't usually give this kind of response because they fear that by giving it a name, they'll make it worse. Just the opposite is true. The wife who hears the words for what she is experiencing is deeply comforted. Her husband has acknowledged her inner experience. These are the key words. Her husband has acknowledged her inner experience. Oh, now you know me. You can live with a spouse for 30 years and not know them. Not really know them. Because we have to get into their soul, which is understanding their emotional feelings. And that the key word is to get into the inner experience of your spouse. What are you experiencing? So now to segue into the teenagers, take a look at page 9, top page, on the teenage handout. And I'll bring you an example from my personal child rearing experience of my teenager. My Yehuda, who was 16 at the time, now he's 23, said he would go to Shir in the morning. He says, Abba, I'm putting my head down in Shir every day. I'm so exhausted. So every night I would say, he'd come home from yeshiva at about, say late Seder, till about 10 o'clock. Come home at 10:30, and then unwind. I said, Yehuda, it's 11 o'clock, go to sleep. I just got home at 10:30, I need to unwind. I said, but you're unwinding till 1 o'clock in the morning, makes you sleep during Shir. So it's sort of a Yotzei Schara B'Hafseda. You're gaining and staying up, you're going to Shir and staying late at night, but you're falling asleep during Shir in the morning. The Ikar Shir, the main Shir is the morning. You have to do Chazara the rest of the day, but the main Shir, you're falling asleep. How is it helping you? So you got stuck in this pattern. But I got stuck in the same pattern. Every single night. I don't understand. You go to sleep at 11:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30. 1 o'clock in the morning, he's still up, unwinding. So from 10:30 to 1 o'clock, he's unwinding. I'm getting frustrated. So finally I said, Yehuda, what time is carpool in the morning? What time is the rota in the morning? 7:05. How many hours of sleep do you need at night to be rested, to be able to follow Shir? 7. What time is it now? 1 o'clock. How many hours are you going to get now? 5.5. 6. What are your thoughts on that? I think I'm going to go to sleep now. I said, good decision. The only way to get a teenager to cooperate with you is to lead them to the decision on their own. We must allow them bechira. Because the main power play in teenage life is the power struggle of free will. You can't tell me what to do. I know better than you. Maybe you do. But I am exerting my independence. I am exerting my freedom and my adolescence and my becoming adulthood. Right? And I don't want to be told what to do. I work with a lot of kids off the derech in Baltimore. And on Friday night, I would walk over to the section of town where they're hanging out smoking. And 50, 100 of them. And I would say, hey guys, what's up? And they say, just chilling. I said, what's chilling? So it's just doing our own thing with nobody telling us what to do. I said, oh, got it. That's what they're doing over there. They're exerting their own independence, trying to do their own thing, because they are burdened by our telling them what to do all day long. Now, we don't do that. We don't tell kids what to do, other than this, right? We say, pick up that towel. Will you please brush your teeth? Homework time. Please take your plate off the table. Please pick up your socks. Will you put the top back on the toothbrush, on the toothpaste, would you please? Are you brushing your teeth yet? It's Erev Shabbos. Would you please take out the towel and get a shower already? Did you make your lunch for tomorrow? Let me see your homework sheet. Did you finish that yet? Will you stop hitting your sister? Stop it already. Don't spill the milk. Close the fridge door. Turn off the light. This is not a free-for-all over here. I want somebody to eat. This is not a restaurant. It's 10 o'clock, food is over at 7:30. Not a restaurant. You don't want this? This is what we're serving. Now, does this sound familiar? Now, how many such comments do we give our children during the day? Give me a rough estimate. How many? We have to run the ship, right? We have to keep the house going. We have to keep the kids moving, otherwise they'd be doing nothing, right? So we have to give these comments. We have to keep them running along and moving the ship along, right? So we have no choice. So how many such comments do we give per day? Ladies, how many do you think it is? Per kid or in total? Well, per kid, how many is it per kid? 50? 50 per kid? 20. Let's say 20. 20 per kid, 5 kids, that's 100 in the family per day. Okay? But let's keep it conservative. Okay? Let's say there are 20 for the whole household per day. 20 times 7 is 140. Times 52 weeks. Can someone figure that out, please? 52 times 140. Any 52 times 140 is about 5,000, about 7,500. 7,500 per year. By the time the child is 10, that's 75,000. 75,000 comments by the time the child is 10. The child comes home and says to the mom or father, I got 70 in my Gemara test. I'm dumb. I got 64 in math. I'm stupid. Or I wasn't picked for the team, for the lacrosse team or the football team. Right? I'm just a loser. And they bring them by the hand to my office and they say, would you please help my son's self-esteem? I don't know how he got there. So I don't see children by themselves. I see the parents. And I watch the dynamic going on between the parents and the children. And that's what I do family therapy. Because I can't fix a child. I can only work on the dynamic and changing the family system. Once you change the system, then you can change the child and how the parents operate with the child. How the child interacts with his parents. But the first thing I point out to them is, what would you feel if you had 75,000 negative comments by the time you were 10? The child is trained to think that I am just not, let's finish the sentence, I'm not good enough. Exactly. And that's how children feel today. And the source of children going off the derech or not being motivated is, I'm just not good enough. But I didn't tell them they were bad. I didn't tell them anything nasty. I just said, make your bed, hurry up, don't forget your lunch, do your homework, take a shower, Shabbos is coming. But those are seen as complaints. Those are seen as negative interactions. We don't want our children feeling overwhelmed by negativity when they're growing up. We want them to feel empowered, want them to feel good about themselves. So we can't do that anymore. We can make a chart on the wall, and I give out tickets. I give out tickets for positive behavior. So each child, different color tickets, blue tickets, red tickets, yellow tickets. The admit one tickets, a roll of tickets. You get at the store, the shops, and you say, this child has to work on listening the first time. You get a ticket for each time you listen the first time. This child gets a ticket for being nice to his sister. Ticket. You get a ticket for being ready to go to school on time. You get a ticket for staying in bed, not coming out of bed. And if you get those tickets, and you get 18 tickets, we go to the dollar store or the pound shop, and we get a little trinket. And for older kids, they'll say, well, I don't want a little, I usually get them frogs, a little plastic frog or a little plastic, toy or trinket or Lego, right? They say, I want a dollhouse. So, well, that's not 18, that's 36 tickets. Oh, well, I'll wait. 36 tickets, right? And there's something recently called the marshmallow experiment, where a teacher came in to a class of 2 or 3-year-olds and said, listen, if you want to eat this marshmallow now, right, you can eat it now. But if you wait 10 minutes when I come back, I'll give you 2 marshmallows. Right? And studies have shown that they followed a longitudinal study, following these children who chose 1 or chose 2, eating it now or waiting, and the ones who waited for 10 minutes until the teacher came back have much more staying power, resilience, emotional strength, because they were able to say, not now. But how do you get them to do that? Lecturing, anger, screaming, raising your voice, doesn't work. Don't do it. Don't stop doing it because it's a bad thing to do. Don't do it because it doesn't work. It's counterintuitive. It's against the research. Research says the only way to get a child to do something is by positive reinforcement of positive behavior. It's the only thing that works. It's called operant conditioning. When you have the Skinner box, and you have 2 pigeons in the Skinner box, and they have 2 levers, and Professor Skinner found that when you try to train the pigeon to touch one lever or the other, touches one lever, no food came out. Touch another lever, food came out. And touch the other lever, food came out. Lever, food. Lever, food. This is a pigeon brain. But he trained the pigeon that when you touch this lever, no food comes out. He didn't touch that lever. Touch this lever, the pigeon knew and learned that I touch this lever, I get food. He kept on touching the lever with the food. That's how education works. Education and behavior modification only works by positive reinforcement. As I said before, the previous workshop number 1 about criticism of our spouse, right? It doesn't work. It just poisons the atmosphere. It breeds disconnection. It breeds resentment, lack of trust, lack of ahava, of brotherhood, of trust in each other. And it causes the whole family to go down emotionally. The only thing that works is positive language, positive reinforcement, right? And someone just asked me a moment ago, between the 2 workshops, he said, is it true that what you're saying is familiarity breeds contempt? I said, yes. I said, you take your spouse for granted, and you don't compliment, and you don't validate, and you don't put in positive effort in the spouse because you live together for 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, or 33 years, and you think that they're going to be your spouse forever. But they end up being unhappy because they need consistent, constant input from each other that I'm doing a good job. Because the world out there is a tough world. The world out there is competitive, it's cutthroat. Trying to make a living is a tough thing. Trying to have friends and be friends in the social sphere is difficult. Ups and downs, especially when you get older. You don't have friends anymore like in school. You have to maintain friendships. Life is hard. Parents get older. We become the sandwich generation. We're sandwiched between little children and parents who are aging. Life is hard. Life drags us down. So when we get encouragement from each other, from our parents, and from our spouse, that gives us the strength to go on. That gives us the chizuk to be able to say, someone believes in me, let's keep going. So I give out tickets for positive behavior. Each child gets what they need, in particular, what kind of behavior they need to work on. And I give out consequences for negative behavior. But it's not called a punishment. It's called consequences. So when I say to them, if you hit your sister, right, you get a hand's consequence. If you kick your brother, you get a foot consequence. What's a foot consequence? Foot consequence is we're going to go out to the shops. or to go to the trampoline or the park. But now that you kicked your sister, we can't go use our feet to go out there because mida keneged mida, measure for measure. If you kick, you don't get to go out with your feet. If you use your hands and hit your sister, you lose computer time. Or give me your doll, or give me your Lego, give me your train set. Because if you, and this is how Hashem runs the world, mida keneged mida, measure for measure. And if you speak disrespectfully, then tomorrow you'll get lunch. Every day you have to have lunch. I'll give you a sandwich, I'll give you your rice cakes and your corn cakes and your ibina. But for dessert, you're going to have celery. Not chocolate, or sweet roll-ups, or chocolate cookies, or candies, or chocolate bar. Right? Because if sweet things don't go out of your mouth, sweet things don't go in your mouth. This is called natural consequences, where a child figures it out. Oh, if I do that, this is going to happen. What are we doing? We're allowing them free will. So we put a chart on the wall. Chana's super midos chart, and one word, consequences. Right? So on the super midos chart you have listening the first time, kibbud av v'em, being helpful to brother and sister, doing my homework and going to bed on time. These are the lists of things that she has to do. She does them, she gets a ticket. We put them in a plastic container with her name on it. She decorates it with puffy paint and with decals and with colors, their name on it. And all the kids have it. And we present it to them as the children as a family project. This is our puffy paint. This is our little plastic container. You get tickets. Here are the positive behaviors I want you to do, me and mommy. These are the negative consequences, right? This is our system of behavior. This is how we run the family. So if a child says, "Oh, I'll be good. I'll be good. Please, one more time, please." I'm sorry. It's our system. We agreed to it. Look, we had this family meeting 2 months ago, or last week, and we had this agreement. I'm sorry. The child is trying to draw you into a power struggle. But you use this system by saying, "What can I do? Don't raise your voice. Don't scream. Don't yell. Just give out tickets." So if I have a ticket here, and I give it out to my child, the way to give out tickets is this. Usually parents will say, "I tried the ticket system." I said, "How long did you try it for?" "A week. Didn't work." I said, "It doesn't work for a week." Studies have shown the way to change a child's habit or behavior takes 17 weeks. So we have to talk about consistent parenting, consistency in parenting. We have to be consistent in the chart system and the tickets for 17 weeks to be able to get a child to change their behavior. It works as a child as young as 4, 5, 6 years, goes up to 12, 13, 14. And then instead of tickets, we give out car keys. Right? Paying for your insurance for the car. Right? That all depends on your responsibility. Right? So we change the language. But the concept is the same. Positive incentives. Now we, parents, are on the section of Ben Adam Lamakom. The first Dibra is Anochi Hashem Elokecha. I am God. The second one is Lo Yelecha. Third is Lo Tisa Hashem Hashem Lashav. Don't take Hashem's name in vain. Fourth is Zachor Hashem Hashabash. And the fifth one is Kavei Azavecha V'Semecha. Honor your parents. It's on the wrong side. Rabbi Yehuda says it's on the wrong side. The other. Honoring your parents is between man and man. The first four talk about honoring God, believing in God, no other gods, God's name in vain, keeping Shabbos, and parents. Well, that's on the wrong side. Because the second 5 talk about don't kill, don't steal, don't commit adultery, don't bear false witness, and don't be jealous of your neighbor. That's between man and man. So what is Kabedas Avicha V'Shimecha, honoring your parents, doing on the side between man and God? It should be on the side of man and man. It should be 4 on this side and 6 on that side. So the answer is because we represent Hashem. Hashem has appointed us to act like Him, to represent Hashem to our children. And Hashem runs the world, midah keneged midah. He runs the world measure for measure. We do mitzvahs, we get mitzvahs. We get averos, we do averos, we get distant from Hashem. What is a mitzvah? A mitzvah means tzavta. Tzavta, says the Zohar, means connection. Doesn't mean you get brownie points. We're giving out tickets, not exactly the way Hashem does it. We don't get tickets. We get connection to Hashem. Tzavta. When we make an avera, we do a transgression, a lo saseh, so we get a chet. Chet comes from the word lahachti, which means to miss the mark. You shoot a bow and arrow, oh, and I missed the mark. So chet does not mean sin. That's a King James translation of the Torah. Chet does not mean sin. Mitzvah means connection, tzavsa. Avera or chet means disconnection. Either you're connected or disconnected. So we help our children by saying, if you do mitzvot, if you listen to your parents, we represent Hashem. When you learn to listen to us and take our guidance and our direction, it's ki'ilu, we are teaching you about how Hashem runs the world. And when you do negative things, you get consequences, not punishments. Let's move off the word of punishment. There are no punishments in life. Hashem doesn't punish. He rehabilitates. He is mesakein. He's mesakein us. He fixes us to repair us, to do better. But we don't punish. Right? The language is not the right language because it's too authoritarian, too difficult, too painful to hear. I'm going to punish you. The consequences. That way, when you have this system, you take away the power struggle and the screaming and the yelling. I don't scream and yell. Why should I scream and yell? This is the system. You do positive, you get tickets. You do negative, you get distance. You get something taken away. So if you have a hand's consequence, you give me your dollhouse for a day or an hour. If you kick your brother, so you don't go on the outing. If you speak disrespectfully, so you don't get chocolate bars in your lunch tomorrow. Okay. That's how it is. Oh, well. Sorry, this is our system. You agreed to it. We shook on it. That's it. That way, this solves the problem of screaming and yelling. No more power struggle. But when you give the ticket, what they're really wanting is emotional connection. So when you give the ticket, it can't be, here's a ticket, or go take a ticket. You have to give the ticket like this. Zis, you listen to Tati. I'm so proud of you. Good job. Baruch Hashem. Wow, I'm so proud of you. Thank you. You helped your sister? I am so proud of you. That's a wonderful job. You have to give the ticket warmly because what we're talking about here is emotional connection. That's a theme from last workshop and this workshop. We have to build emotional connection. That's what the children want. They will not go off the derech if we maintain that connection. But our overall approach to them has to be positive. If our overall approach is 80% negative and 20% positive, then they're going to say, who needs this? Right? So I give the bracha to the children that I described in the last workshop, buy the Shabbos candles. I said, come here, buy those candles. I want you to associate Shabbos with love. Shabbos means love. Shabbos means you have to keep Shabbos. No, Shabbos means love. Of course you're going to get love. Of course you want to keep Shabbos. It's because it means love. So that's the approach that leads us to having teenagers listen to us. So looking at our handout over here, on page 9, middle of the page, child says, I don't want to go to college. What do we say as parents? Don't be ridiculous. Of course you're going to college. Or, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Or, I can't believe you would ever say that. Do you want to break your grandparents' heart? Does that work? Try the next one. Why do I always have to go be the one to take out the garbage? Because you never do anything else around here except eat and sleep. And that really builds love, right? Why do you always have to be the one to complain? You complainer. How come your brother doesn't give me a hard time when I ask him for help? Now, are we apt to do these kind of things? Maybe. Not in Gibraltar. In America, yes. Not in Gibraltar. We had this long lecture on drugs today from a police officer. What a mess. What a made-up story. All he did was try to scare us. Scare you? He's trying to knock some sense into your head. If I ever catch you using drugs, you'll really have something to be scared of. The trouble with you kids today is you think you know everything. Well, let me tell you, you've got a lot to learn. I don't care if I've got a fever. No way I'm missing that concert. That's what you think. You're not going anywhere tonight, except bed. Why would you want to do anything that's stupid? You're still sick. It's not the end of the world. There'll be plenty of other concerts. Why don't you play the band's latest album, close your eyes and pretend you're at the concert? Right, that'll work. So let's look at the first animated cartoon example. Instead of being logical with our teenagers, Dad, when are you going to teach me to drive? I told you when you're old enough. I'm 15. Exactly. Which means you're too young to get a learner's permit. Well, Kim's father is teaching her. Kim is 16. But her father started teaching her when she was 15. Well, he's not me. Have you ever said that? Everyone else has an iPhone. Everyone else has an iPad. Everyone else has roller skates, a hoverboard. Well, my friends have that. Well, we're not your friends. We're different. Right? We say that, right? Well, that's negating feelings. Let's try the right way to do it. Dad, when are we going to teach me to drive? Sounds like you can't wait to get started. Kim's father taught her when she was 15. And you wish I didn't take the age requirement so seriously. That's right. If you had your way, you'd have your permit right now. No, I'd have my driver's license right now. Then you could take me for a drive. What did the father do here? He turned it around by acknowledging feelings and let the child, or teenager, work it out. We have to respect bechira, free will. So that means that when we have our chart, and we have the Chana's super midos chart, and consequences, and we see trouble brewing in the family, the kids are acting up, and we know what's coming next. What's coming next is someone's going to hit each other. We take Chana by the hand, we take her over to the two posters over here, and we say, Chana, look, here is Chana's super midos chart. Here's consequences. Okay? If you do these, you get tickets. If you do this, you get consequences. Which would you like to have? Which would you choose? I know you can make a good decision. Let me know what you decide. Walk away. Walk away. Leave her there looking at the two posters on the kitchen wall. But mamish, do the poster on the wall. The child can see clearly what they're working on. One section for Chana, one section for Yosef, one section for Hananel. Everyone's got their section of the wall, put it in their room perhaps, and everybody's got their thing they're working on. And you can reveal to your children that I'm also working on something. I'm working on my Simchas HaChaim. I'm working on my temper. I'm working on my going to shul on time. I'm also working on something. I'm not perfect. So show them that you're also working on something. But the key is maintain bechira. Let them choose by guiding them to the right decision. But if you take away bechira, they're going to rebel, because the whole essence of teenagehood is bechira. I want to choose. So let them choose. But within your guidance and limits, they'll be on the right path to make the right decision. Next one. Let's skip this one, better judgment, and let's go to the page which says the writing. Acknowledge your teenager's feelings. The teenager says, "Oh no, what will I do? I told the Gordons I'd babysit for them Sunday, and now Lisa called and invited me to her sleepover party." Parent says, "What you should do is..." Now what's wrong with that? Taking away what? Bechira, free will. Sounds as if you're pulled in two directions. You want to go to Lisa's, but you don't want to disappoint the Gordons. You can say, oh, man, sounds, body language, right? Wouldn't it be great if you could clone yourself? One of you could babysit and the other one could go to the sleepover, right? I hear how much you'd rather go to Lisa's. The problem is you gave the Gordons your word. They're counting on you. You didn't decide for them, but you're leading them in the right direction. Now how about this one? Next page. Attacking. Children, teenagers often feel attacked. Unbeknownst to us, we're attacking them, but we don't know it. We just thought we're directing them, or we're telling them to do the right thing, but actually they feel attacked. Why? The child says, "You're so irresponsible. I just got home. Why are you yelling at me? Because I never can depend on you. You promised this morning you'd shovel the walk. Why are you laying it all on me? You never asked me to do anything. You asked Mark to do anything." Right? So you confront the child by saying you're irresponsible. You label them, you criticize them. You are going to lose. You are irresponsible. Two negatives. You and irresponsible. You're already out the door. Right? The right way is describe what you feel. I feel. I'm disappointed. I was assured that by the time I got home, the walk would be shoveled. I meant to, Dad, but the coach kept us overtime. So you meant to then? Yeah. You go inside, Dad, and I'll do it now. When we describe what we feel, it's easier for the spouse or teenager to hear us and respond helpfully. What about threats? Next page. You are not wearing that torn shirt to the restaurant. Why not? It's just a little rip. It looks like a rag. If you don't change, something decent, you can just stay home. Fine, I'll stay home. Many teenagers react to threats with defiance or sullen compliance. Why? Because you're trying to take away their free will. Offer a choice. Bechira. Chris. Oh, Chaim. Chaim. We're going to a restaurant where people dress up a little. So you can wear any shirt that isn't torn, or maybe put a jacket over the one you're wearing. Okay, I'm not changing. Where's my jacket? Leaving the child room to make his own decision. Next page. Instead of ordering, turn that music down. I mean now. Right? Next page. Describe the problem. I can't think or have a conversation when the music is blasting. It hurts my ears. Frequent exposure to loud sound can damage a person's hearing. What would you rather do? Turn the volume down or lower it a little and close your door? Just say, the volume, or bedtime, PJs, pajamas, instead of saying, can everyone get the pajamas, please? Now, here's a very important point. If we entertain our children and interact with our children with low self-esteem, as we spoke about before, and we stand like this, could you please go to bed now? My nerves are fried and I'm exhausted. Could you please cooperate? Because I really need help. Please, do me a favor. Could you please? Right? Then you're begging your child, right? And you're coming to them with a position of weakness, right? I want to teach you something called light point. Is there a chair? Separate chair here? I'll show you a chair. Shkaya. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Normally, and I taught this to the children this afternoon, normally we sit like this. Barely making it, right? And a person can say, man, life's tough. Shabbos table, they're finally being limited to Shabbos. Okay. Or please, can you go to bed now? I can't take it anymore. Right? Give me a break. I can't do it anymore. Please do so. Right? So when you're saying that, but you're defeated. Life has defeated you. So there's a technique called the light point. The light point is put your finger at your collarbone over here. And you pull your light point up like this. And you sit up like this. Light point. Look around, let's look around the room. Look around the shul, okay? Sit back in our normal way. Like this. Look around the room. What energy do you get in the room when you're sitting like this? What are you getting? What feelings are you getting in this room? Tired, exhausted, what else? Flat, right? What else? Overwhelmed, right? Defeated, emotionally broken. Okay? Now, let's do this. Everyone sit up and do your light point. Look around the room. What are you getting now? What energy are you getting in the room right now? What feeling are you getting in the room?
Ready to start the day again.
Vibrant. What else?
Ready to act.
Ready to act. Ready to act. Right? If you're like this, the child can run a truck right through you. Because you're weak. Right? So fake it till you make it. By doing what? Even though you feel weak, right? You do this. Okay, guys, we're going to clean up now. We'll do the chores. Bedtime. We're going to Shabbos. Let's go. Everything up. Or, come on, guys. Now, I know the ladies have probably done this. They've taken ballet. Ballet when you were children, right? Teenagers, and ballet. And the ballet dancer does not stand like this. The ballet dancer does not do her plie or her first position, second position like this. She doesn't go like this. Right? The ballet dancer does this. Right? Why? Why? What's the difference between me saying, Shalom Aleichem? How are you? Or, Shalom Aleichem.
Okay.
How are you? How are you? What's the difference? Because when I'm present, I come off with strength, confidence, inspiration, leadership. So if I go like this, I can say like this. I can say, I'm depressed. But what I can't do is this. I'm depressed. You can't do that. Because your body is saying something else. This is called the body mind. When your body is this way and confident, even though you're feeling weak, they will say, at bedtime now, PJs, okay. Please clean up your plate now. Right? Time to, and you are the conductor of the operation. You are the orchestra leader. Saying, bedtime, this, that, this. Okay, good. If you carry yourself, but the conductor stands there, I never really know what the conductor does, really. But the conductor stands there, right? And he goes, the conductor doesn't stand there like this, like, I don't know. Right? The conductor goes, right? So that's how we have to act. We have to act with self-confidence. Light point. And it also applies to walking with self-confidence and sitting with self-confidence. You can't, people walk around, watch people how they walk, right? People walk like this. Maybe go this way, maybe they go that way, right? Or they go, I don't know, maybe I'll do this, maybe I don't know, maybe I don't know what to do, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know, right? But if you want to walk with confidence, you pick a point on the wall which represents your goal. So I'm going to lead this family, B'derech Hashem, I'm going to lead them with confidence, I'm going to give them confidence, I am going to run a family which is happy and positive. You pick that goal on the wall and you walk toward it, you go like this. I'm not stopping until I get to that goal, right? It all depends on our demeanor, our strength, our self-confidence, our believing in ourselves, that conveys leadership to the family. With choices, Chana's choices, between positive midos and consequences. It's fair, no screaming and yelling, positive reinforcement, love, and you're leading a family with positivity. And they see the spouses interacting with each other warmly and positively and lovingly, and they're intimate with one small low voices, right? Not screaming and yelling, not using level 3 voice, level 1 voice, right? You see, wow, mommy and daddy love each other. So they feel bonded, they feel like they're safe. When mommy and daddy are not on the same page, children don't feel safe and they act out. So our job is to give the best gift we can give them a shalom bayis by giving those positive comments and positive compliments and positive feedback and being there for each other. That is what's going to build the family's strength so that we can. So I'll leave you with this story. There's a story of a Rebbe who was about to blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. Blow the shofar. He says, I can't. He leaned forward and all the people leaned forward. I can't. So the people didn't understand, why does Rebbe not be able to blow the shofar? So Rebbe said, I can't blow the shofar until Shia comes forward. The Shia walks forward, says, Shia, yes, Rebbe. Shia, you got married recently to Chana, the girl in our story. Tell us how you talk to Chana. Shia said, well, Rebbe, I'm 6'4". Chana is 4'9". So when I speak to Chana, I bend down to speak to her. And Rebbe said, and what does Chana do when you bend down to speak to her? On this basis, I can blow the shofar. He said, Rebbe, when I bend down to speak to Chana, Chana stands on her tiptoes to speak to me. Now I can blow the shofar. People go, Rebbe, we don't understand. Why 6'4", 4'9", bending down, speaking up on tiptoes? How does that cause you to allow you to blow shofar now? Rebbe said, when I came to blow the shofar, I realized, Hashem, you're 6'4". You're huge, transcendent, distant, the king of the universe. I'm Chana. I'm 4'9". You care about my little shofar? My little shofar blowing. You're so huge. You're so big. You're so justice. How can my little shofar do anything? I've done wrong things. I've criticized my kids. I haven't supported my spouse with the way I should. I'm so little. My shofar's not going to count. But then, when Shia said, Hashem is 6'4", he's 6'4", and he bends down to listen to Chana. And Chana, all she has to do is stand on her tiptoes to strive to reach